Are you ready to eliminate suffering and transform your reality? In this enlightening exploration, we'll delve into the unique perspective of Neville Goddard, a renowned optimistic thinker, on individual responsibility in life's events. Learn how to redirect your attention away from negative ideas, such as anxiety and fear, to generate more favorable life conditions. If you're prepared to adopt a more conscious and proactive stance towards life's challenges, don't miss this revealing lesson. Get ready to discover how a transformation in your thinking can positively impact the shaping of the reality you desire. Before we immerse ourselves in this process, I invite you to show your support for our content by liking, subscribing, and activating notifications to stay informed about new videos. Your participation is essential for us to continue spreading valuable knowledge. As we contemplate the complexities of the contemporary world, we often overlook the spiritual dimension of our circumstances. Instead of pointing to external factors, as is customary, Goddard urges us to reflect on how our thoughts shape our reality. By understanding this interaction, we feel compelled to take responsibility for our thoughts, recognizing their power to materialize in our existence. This fundamental conviction that thoughts materialize underscores the significance of consciously choosing what we believe. By ceasing to blame others, we embark on a path towards self-transformation. Assuming responsibility for our thoughts not only frees us from the trap of reproach but also empowers us to actively shape the circumstances we desire in our lives. Thus, as we meditate on these thoughts and apply Neville Goddard's teachings, we discover a fascinating path towards self-knowledge and the generation of a reality that resonates with our deepest aspirations. Many people spend considerable time seeking external culprits, be it the government, educational institutions, their circumstances, or even their parents, for their dissatisfaction with life. However, the surprising truth is that there is no one to blame for the events in their lives, nor are they responsible for their own actions. If you tend to blame yourself or hold others responsible, perhaps it's time to consider the illuminating idea of the I Am, a concept that suggests the absence of culprits, as if consciousness were implicated in all events. This perspective focuses attention on consciousness, indicating that it is behind all actions and occurrences. Neville articulates this notion with the expression I am, where the identity of being is the only truth. From childhood, we have been instilled with the habit of attributing our setbacks to external causes, which explains our propensity to seek those responsible outside of ourselves. Society and religious doctrines often perpetuate the idea that something or someone is the cause of everything that happens to us. When there is no one left to blame, some people who believe in a supreme being may end up attributing fault to it. However, Neville Goddard's vision challenges this notion, proposing that consciousness is the true reality in the world. According to Goddard, everything boils down to consciousness. Our consciousness, our I Am, is the foundation of everything and the reason for all events. By assimilating and internalizing this perspective, we can begin to overcome the tendency to assign blame to external factors and, instead, focus on consciousness as the essential guide for our experiences. Therefore, it is not necessary to point to others, oneself, or even a deity, since if something is happening, it is because you are conscious of it. Your consciousness has generated it, making you conscious in the first place. Everything that happens in our world is an extension of what we imagine or that I am. The place where you find yourself now only existed as an idea in your mind at some point, so at some point, it had to take shape in reality. However, you probably didn't want those unfortunate situations to occur. Without realizing it, you allowed your imagination to overflow, and that is what created your present reality. Now let's delve deeper into what Neville Goddard expounds in his work. He states that when you and I recognize ourselves as Christ, we also repair crippled arms and revive the hopes of humanity. We will do everything that seemed impossible when we felt constrained by our genealogy. It is a brave leap that should not be taken lightly, as doing so is bidding farewell to old ideas and limitations, paving the way for substantial change. If John, the three-dimensional being, is beheaded or loses his three-dimensional perspective, Jesus, the eye of the fourth dimension, can prevail. These words are derived from Neville Goddard's remarkable lectures titled No One to Change But Self. Goddard suggests that renouncing past beliefs is like the death of the old three-dimensional self, making room for the emerging self of the fourth dimension. In describing this metamorphosis, Goddard insists on the relevance of understanding that detachment from old creeds is a valuable bet. He encourages us to leave behind those obsolete conceptions and recognize that we are like deities. In essence, Neville Goddard invites us to embark on a journey of self-discovery and personal transformation. By assuming responsibility for our thoughts and beliefs, we empower ourselves to actively shape our reality. This process involves letting go of limiting notions and embracing a more expansive perspective of our innate potential. Goddard, in a simple and direct manner, warns about the dangers of blindly trusting the world of appearances, as it does not constitute true reality. That three-dimensional world that we perceive as absolute is, in reality, an illusion, a perceptual mirage. To generate transformations in that illusory world, Goddard proposes embarking on a journey towards the imagination of the fourth dimension. He points out that power in the three-dimensional world is restricted, describing it as a world of shadows, almost ethereal. The authentic power to modify our situation, according to Goddard, emanates from our imagination. Our I am is a call to awaken and recognize that we are operative and possessors of power. Goddard emphasizes that we should not believe in alternative causes or cede our power to external sources, such as fortune tellers. That surrender of power is perceived as an illusion of separation, as no one can imagine for us. The world around us is our creation, and blaming others is denying our creative potential. Although this concept may initially seem challenging, Goddard assures that by understanding it, we will experience unprecedented power. If things are not as we wish, that does not mean they cannot change. It simply implies that our current mental state is not aligned with our desires. To achieve what we want, Goddard recommends adopting a different mental state that corresponds to that desire. We can experience a significant transformation in our reality when we consider something that does not favor us and discard it in favor of something specific. Being in a mental state that allows us to experience our desires means that our emotions come from the imagination and the images we have forged in our mind. Thus, if we want to experience something in particular, we need to adopt a mental state that enables that experience. This deep understanding of how our mind configures our reality is the key to unleashing significant changes in our lives. If we aspire to achieve certain objectives, such as health, prosperity, success, or loving relationships, it is imperative that we first internalize these ideas in our mind. The fundamental premise that emerges from Neville Goddard's profound reflections in his illuminating lectures No One to Change But Self highlights the importance of cultivating the same mental state as that which we wish to experience. On this path, different tools from the manifestation community, such as affirmations and visualizations, stand as valuable allies in the process of mental transformation. However, there are times when visualizing something desired or facing negative thoughts that obstruct progress becomes a challenge. It is in this context that the mentioned techniques play a crucial role. Affirmations and visualizations act as effective tools to redirect the mind to the desired state, providing a solid foundation for the materialization of our purposes. When thoughts deviate, these practices are valuable strategies to realign focus and tune the mind to our deepest yearnings. The change of perspective emerges as a determining factor, as it is our thoughts that shape the reality we live. If life does not reflect our aspirations, Goddard suggests that we can modify it by altering our imagination and consciousness. If we face health challenges, we can positively influence our condition by adjusting our consciousness. The same principle applies to financial matters, enabling the transition from a scarcity mentality to one of abundance. The conscious adoption of a specific mental state, as Goddard emphasizes, results in the integration of desires into our being, eliminating duality. In that state, thoughts are no longer isolated entities but become an intrinsic part of who we are. Perspective shapes our thoughts, and by maintaining a positive attitude, we can attract joy, financial prosperity, peace, and satisfaction. The concept of I am that Goddard advocates highlights our ability to be creators, influencing the events in our environment. Consciousness, he argues, has more strength than external circumstances. Goddard's maxim "if you can dream it, you can achieve it" emphasizes the importance of harboring positive thoughts to attract what we yearn for. Therefore, the secret of successful manifestation lies in maintaining uplifting thoughts in our mind. This principle extends to the use of positive affirmations, applicable techniques to attract not only physical well-being but also to overcome discomforts, solve financial difficulties, or improve work situations. Goddard maintains that everything arises from thoughts, and our suffering or success is directly influenced by our mental choices. In this meticulous analysis of Neville Goddard's theory, his distinctive approach as an educator and source of inspiration for millions around the world highlights the fundamental importance of our thoughts in shaping reality. Neville Goddard's teachings invite us to assume an active role in creating our reality. By recognizing the power of our mind and adopting mental states aligned with our desires, we can transform our lives significantly. This process involves detaching ourselves from the illusion of the three-dimensional world and entering the imagination of the fourth dimension. It is there where our true creative potential resides, where our thoughts become the architects of our experience. Through tools such as affirmations and visualizations, we can cultivate mental states that allow us to experience what we long for. By maintaining a positive attitude and harboring uplifting thoughts, we attract favorable circumstances to our lives. Ultimately, Goddard's teachings remind us that we are the creators of our reality. By assuming responsibility for our thoughts and mental choices, we empower ourselves to shape our existence according to our deepest desires. So I invite you to reflect on these ideas and begin to apply them in your own life. Observe how your thoughts shape your world and assume the role of conscious creator. Remember, you have the power to transform your reality from within. If this content has been valuable to you, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel to receive more inspiring videos. Your support helps us continue spreading this message of empowerment and personal growth.